Welcome to Module 6 of the GenderWise program. This module focuses on leadership in sport and on how inclusive leadership can shape participation, trust, fairness, and long-term development in sport organizations and teams. In sport, leadership influences much more than decisions and results. It shapes everyday experience, communication, confidence, and access to opportunity. This module helps learners understand how leadership can support fairer and more inclusive sport cultures, how gender-based barriers affect women's leadership pathways, and how leadership growth can be strengthened through reflection, strategy, and continuous development. Why this module matters: leadership in practice, inclusion and participation, growth and responsibility. 4 learning units: Foundations of Inclusive Leadership in Sport, recognizing and addressing gender-based barriers, designing gender-responsive leadership strategies, personal reflection and growth as an inclusive leader. 4 ebooks, 4 infographics, 1 final quiz. Learning Unit 1 introduces the foundations of inclusive leadership in sport. It explores what inclusive leadership means in practice and how it shapes participation, belonging, communication, and shared responsibility across sport environments. Learners examine why inclusive leadership matters for women's participation and advancement, and how it can strengthen trust, fairness, and long-term development. The unit also introduces transformational leadership, emotional intelligence, and reflective practice as key parts of everyday leadership. Learning Unit 2 focuses on the barriers that continue to affect women's leadership in sport. It helps learners understand how structural systems, informal norms, stereotypes, and everyday practices can shape access to leadership, visibility, influence, and progression. The unit also introduces intersectionality, showing that women do not all experience leadership pathways in the same way. Learners explore how bias and exclusion appear in practice and how barriers can be recognized, challenged, and addressed through practical and constructive action. Learning Unit 3 moves from awareness to strategy. It shows how gender-responsive leadership becomes stronger when it is guided by evidence, linked to organizational practice, and supported through collaboration. Learners examine how leadership can shape fairer organizational cultures, widen access to opportunities, and improve women's participation in boards, management, coaching, and decision-making. The unit also highlights the role of networks, alliances, mentoring, and active support, and explains how inclusive strategies can be translated into practical action and sustained over time. Learning Unit 4 focuses on personal reflection and long-term leadership growth. It encourages learners to examine how their behavior, communication, and decisions affect others, and how leadership impact is often shaped through everyday interactions. The unit explores authentic leadership identity, confidence, values-based leadership, and resilience, showing how inclusive leadership develops over time through awareness and practice. It also introduces personal development planning, mentoring, feedback, continuous learning, and accountability as important supports for sustained growth as an inclusive leader in sport. Key message and next step: inclusive leadership in action. Notice barriers, lead with fairness, reflect, support, and grow. Inclusive leadership in sport is not only about position or authority. It is about how leaders create conditions for trust, participation, fairness, and development. By understanding barriers, using evidence, supporting others, and reflecting on their own practice, leaders can help build sport environments where women's leadership is more visible, more supported, and more sustainable.